Last class, I left an assignment for everyone to go into your life to see what is good design. A girl came back to me and said, "Teacher, our roommate just bought a pair of shoes. I think they're nice. They're a good design." A boy said, "There's a boy in our dormitory. He just bought a new mobile phone. It is very dazzling, worth thousands of dollars. I think it is a good design because I want it too." At this time, one high achiever in the class said, "I think the best design is a platform like Coursera, a MOOC, which gives me access to the best courses from the best teachers in the world." Some underachievers may say, "Teacher, I think there is a good website. It is a website made by our students themselves. Before each exam, it brings out all the most important content, test points, including analysis of previous year's test questions, so that we can cram for the final exam. Then we can pass the exam. Anyway, we're not too demanding. After reading this website, we can get 60 points." So you will find that from person to person, the understanding of good design is different because the needs are different. There was a question on the Zhihu about what kind of design can really impress you. At this time, you will get a variety of answers. One of the answers is this. It said that this billboard is the design that can impress me most. Why? You will find that the billboard is a square outline set by the lake. And in the middle of this billboard, there is a figure of a woman's silhouette, in which the part of the woman's hair is all vacant. This billboard is an advertisement of hair dye. When the weather changes, when the sun sets or the sky is full of sunshine, different colors will be projected through the hollowed out part of the billboard. What we see is that the hair part of this woman's silhouette also shows brilliant and various colors. One color in the day, one color in the evening, one color in the sunny day, and one color in the cloudy day. This appropriately shows the colorful characteristics of the hair dye. So this design combines the natural environment with the theme of advertising, which is a great idea. There are other answers too. For example, one student says that this water bottle is a good design. This water bottle may be seen by many students in the supermarket. In fact, we have many such examples around us. Maybe if you don't go out and discover it, you won't appreciate the ingenuity of its design. We will find that on this bottle of water, there is a very small label attached to the front, and the whole shape is very simple, with a very special kind of aesthetic feeling. The English logo is written on such a small label. So is that enough to show it is a good design? No. In fact, we know that there are a lot of regulations in the national standards. About a bottle of drinking water, there is a lot of information that must be marked, such as the ingredients, the manufacturer, and so on. This information must be marked on the packaging of the water bottle. But now, such a small piece obviously cannot meet this demand. So how did the designer go about it? When you rotate this water bottle 180 degrees, a miracle happens. You will find that it becomes a magnifying glass, putting some of the information printed on the back of the label clearly in front of you. At this time, we will find that because the materials we use are more economical, the label is smaller and thinner. So, from an environmental protection perspective, we have made some improvements in the quality of this water. So we think this water bottle also highlights a kind of environmental protection concept. Let's look at the next one. About this thing, many people have seen it when they were a child. And many boys have learned a lot of painful lessons from this thing. What is this? A latch. As a child, when you rushed home from the outside, then the latch that was stretched out often tore your clothes. Then you went back to get scolded by your mother and beaten by your father. So it left a big impression on you. When designers grow up, they are also aware of this problem. So how to solve this problem? How to design a latch that does not rip clothes? You will find this solution is very clever. Very simple. He just made a 45-degree slant to make the fixing method different from before. That is, when the lock is taken off the latch naturally hangs down and no longer stretches outside the door, reducing the danger of us accidentally getting scratched and our clothes being ripped. So we think that design is not very complicated, but we need to find these problems in life and solve them. Maybe it is not a very significant invention, but it can really and effectively solve the problems encountered in our lives. So we think this is also a good design. Let's look at the next picture. Many students may wonder what kind of good design it is. Compared with the previous design, there doesn't seem to be any different. What is this? A calculator. So this calculator doesn't seem to be any different from other calculators. So what are its good design points? Notice the distribution of its keys. You'll find one key is different from the others. Which key is it? Everyone pays attention to its on-off key. This key is slightly lower. This key is slightly lower than other keys. So what's the point of doing this? That is to say, when the calculator is in my pocket or in my bag, I can avoid accidentally touching the key. Because this key is lower than other keys, when you touch other keys, you won't touch this on-off key. So the possibility of misusing it is reduced, and it won't turn on as soon as you touch it. When I saw this design, it reminded me of a friend who bought a new phone a while back and told me, "This phone of mine is good in every way, except for one thing." What is it? When I take this phone out, my thumb will touch the on-off key, and as soon as I accidentally press it, the phone is off. It's so inhumane. Why? I think mobile phone designs should learn from this calculator about how to do key design. This picture below, probably many students will smile when they see it. What design is it? One design about yogurt boxes. Many students may have had this experience when the yogurt is finished. Many students may have had this experience when the yogurt is finished. There are many places at the bottom that are out of reach of the yogurt spoon. What to do? We would say that when it's out of reach, kids can use their fingers to remove the residual yogurt and then eat it. But adults rarely do such actions, feeling unsightly. The designer thought this was also a problem, so what to do? He made a change to the yogurt spoon. Quite simply, he turned the round-headed spoon into a right-angled spoon, so it could dig into every corner of the bottom of the yogurt box. Of course, the designer paid attention to the details. This right-angled, pointed part of the spoon must be made a little rounded in case it pierces the tongue or lips. But this design will make us all think that the design should be like this. So a good design does not need to be particularly fancy, but when you see the product, you will say, I think this is reasonable. I don't need more fancy expressions. This is the real and problem-solving side of a good design. Of course, in life, there are all sorts of designs, and some designers don't even think of them as designs. But it just happened. For example, we'll find the guy who sells melon seeds. He randomly finds a yogurt bottle, cuts out a notch. And uses this bottle as a container for melon seeds. Do you think this design needs to be designed? No, it happens completely naturally. There is even such a design. Of course, this design is very fun for many students. Maybe a mother is busy with other chores, but afraid the child will wet the clothes or the bed. So she takes a paper cup, digs a hole, and then the problem can be solved. So such designs don't even need to be thought about specifically, and are even common examples around us. So design is really ubiquitous, and everyone has different evaluation criteria. So what is good design? I think good design exists because of bad design. Many designs in life are considered anti-human or inhuman. It is because of such design that we find good design is needed to solve them. Many people will complain when using sockets. We know that the lower part of the 5-hole socket is a 3-hole socket, and the upper part is a 2-hole socket. But when you insert the plug into the 2-hole socket, the 3-hole socket cannot be inserted and is blocked. This is obviously an unreasonable design. Therefore, in order to solve such a problem, the designer made a misaligned design to place the 2-hole and 3-hole sockets in a staggered position so that both sockets can be used at the same time. This is a good design. So good design and poor design are only one step away. There are many pictures like this circulating on the internet right now, showing how good designers would design something and how bad designers would design something. When I saw this picture, I thought it could only be seen in comics or jokes. A well-designed ATM machine is one that can be easily operated by a person in an upright position. A poorly designed one that requires a person to crouch down or lie down. I thought it was a joke, and then I found out online that it actually has this design. There are many such examples in life. Laptops have many slots, but will there be interference between the slots? When you use the mouse slot, will it affect the use of the other slots? Will 2 close USB ports affect the insertion of 2 USB drives at the same time? Therefore, these issues must be taken into account at the outset of design. In this example, is such a problem. After plugging in the network cable, you will find that the extension of the network cable affects your use of the mouse. And this design is also a common problem. Finally, I would like to give you an example of the design of the urinals in men's toilets. If you go to KFC or McDonald's, you will find that the urinals in their toilets generally have a higher one and a lower one. Why? Because in China, adults often bring their children with them to such fast food restaurants. So it must consider the height of the child. Therefore, a higher urinal and a lower urinal need to be designed. Then, I have such a question. What kind of height difference do you think should be designed between urinals to be the most ergonomic, to be the most consistent with the height difference? The one high and one low design is okay. It can be used in fast food restaurants, but different environments must have different ways of using it. For example, in primary schools, when the school bell rings, many children flock to the toilet to use the urinal. At this time, I think the reasonable design should be a higher urinal for teachers or big boys, and the rest should be a little lower for children. But if it was a college campus, how would its toilets be designed? Have you thought about that? Will it be like a note, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, setting 7 gradients? So the question arises again, which height of urinal in this toilet is best for me? So this can also create problems. This question had haunted me until one day I saw a design in a toilet at a university in the US that I think is the best design. It's designed so that one in the row of urinals is the tallest, one is the lowest, and the others are the same height. Why is it distributed like that? Since the height of the human body corresponds to a normal distribution, the number of people who are close to the average height is the largest, and the tallest and shortest are always few. So most people can use urinals with average height, while tall and short people can choose urinals with special height according to their needs. Therefore, I think a good design must be based on observations of life. It must be conducive to solving life problems. So, I believe every student has a new understanding of good design, and we will talk about the criteria of good design later.